Welcome to the Bears News Fan Report. The situation at Hallis Hall is heating up. What Colin Cowherd and Adam Schefter have said about the future of the Bears could change everything. Is GM Ryan Poles the right person to make the decisions we need? And what about the protection of our star Caleb Williams? Let's dive deep into these questions, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all the latest. The Chicago Bears season started full of hope, but 8 consecutive losses have brought us back to reality. Colin Cowherd didn't hold back when he stated, the Bears need a real leader, someone like Mike Vrabel. He believes it's time for Chicago to stop being cheap and invest heavily in a coach who can change the game. What do you think? Could Vrabel be the strong leader we need? Meanwhile, Adam Schefter brought an important update. Ryan Poles, our GM, will continue leading the search for the next coach. But can we trust him to make this crucial decision? After all, the culture at Hallis Hall has crumbled, and the results don't inspire confidence. Maybe it's time to start from scratch and rebuild. And what about Caleb Williams' health? Interim coach Thomas Brown decided to give rookie Kieran Nagaji a chance, but it came at a high cost. Putting an unprepared rookie against the Vikings' defense resulted in costly mistakes and put our QB at risk. Is it worth insisting on inexperienced young players, or should we trust the veterans more? Chicago Bears fans, it's time to take a stand. Do you think Mike Vrabel is the solution to our problems? Should Ryan Poles continue leading the search, or is it time for radical changes? And what about Caleb Williams' protection? Should we trust the youth or prioritize veterans? Leave your comments below, subscribe to the Bears News Fan Report, and join our community of passionate fans. See you in the next video. The Bears' next steps will define the franchise's direction for the coming years. Mike Vrabel is an attractive option not only because of his experience, but for the type of leadership he could bring to a team that needs identity and consistency. But the price will be high. Is the Bears management willing to open their wallets and pay for success? Or will we continue looking for cheap solutions that have led us to the same result? On the other hand, Ryan Poles' continued leadership in strategic decisions has divided opinions. He was responsible for bringing in names like Caleb Williams, but he also built a roster that has failed to prove competitive on the field. Does he deserve another chance, or is it time for a new cycle? Meanwhile, Caleb Williams' health can't be ignored. He's the future of the franchise, and any decision that puts his integrity at risk needs to be reconsidered. The experience with Kieran Nagaji showed that throwing inexperienced young players into adverse situations can be costly. The question is Thomas Brown making these decisions alone, or is there interference from the management? What does it really mean to be a Chicago Bears fan? It's to support unconditionally, but also demand the changes necessary for our team to get back on top. The Bears' history is rich, full of moments of glory, and we deserve more than what we're seeing today. Is it time to demand a complete rebuild, with new leaders in every key position? Or do we still believe that minor adjustments can save the team? Let's continue this debate in the comments. We want to know everyone's opinion. After all, it's with the unity of our community that the Bears can find the support they need to make the right decisions. Don't forget to activate notifications so you don't miss any updates. Together, we are stronger. Let's cheer, demand, and build a better future for the Chicago Bears. As a Chicago Bears fan, it's hard not to feel frustrated with the current situation of the franchise. After a promising start, seeing a streak of 8 consecutive losses isn't just discouraging, it's painful. What hurts the most is knowing we have potential, but it seems like the right pieces aren't being put in place. Regarding Mike Vrabel, I agree that he would be a fantastic choice. He's a natural leader, someone who could bring discipline and a winning mentality to a team that clearly lacks that. But the big question is, would he choose Chicago with so many other potential options? And more importantly, is Bears management willing to let go of old habits and invest heavily in a coach with pedigree? Regarding Ryan Poles, I have my doubts. He brought in some promising players like Caleb Williams, but what we've seen on the field is a poorly assembled team, lacking depth in key positions, and making questionable decisions like throwing young players into absurdly difficult situations. Keeping Poles at the helm of this rebuild seems too risky, and maybe it's time for a new GM who can align the team's vision with a top-tier coach. And what about Caleb Williams' health? This is what worries me the most. He's the future of the franchise, a player who can turn the Bears into a powerhouse again. Putting him behind an unstable and inexperienced defensive line is, at the very least, irresponsible. Yes, it's important to test young players, but not at the cost of our quarterback's integrity. This kind of risk is simply not worth it. As a fan, I want to see real changes, bold decisions, and a clear plan for the future. I want a coach who inspires confidence, a GM who knows how to build a competitive roster, and above all, I want them to protect our greatest asset, Caleb Williams. The Bears have one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL, and we deserve a team that reflects that spirit. It's time to think big, stop accepting mediocrity, and fight for a future we can all be proud of. I feel like we're at a crucial point for the Chicago Bears franchise. It's that moment where we either rise up with bold and smart decisions, or we stay stuck in the mediocrity that has defined our recent years. I believe the fans deserve more than that. We deserve a solid plan, transparency, and above all, results. Mike Vrabel is a name that inspires confidence, not just because of his coaching career, but because of the kind of mentality he brings. He knows how to build strong teams with identity and discipline. If anyone can change the culture at Hallis Hall, I believe it's him. The problem is, bringing in a coach of that caliber requires total commitment from management. It's not just about hiring him and waiting for miracles. It's about giving support, investing in infrastructure, and signings that complement his system, and most importantly, being patient enough to build something lasting. Are the Bears ready for that? Regarding Ryan Poles, I see a dilemma. On one hand, he was responsible for some good moves with the roster, but on the other hand, he failed in critical areas like the offensive line and team depth. If he's the one tasked with finding the next coach, he needs to prove that he's aligned with a clear vision for the future. We can't repeat past mistakes, where the lack of synergy between GM and coach cost us years of development. And Caleb Williams? This kid has the talent to be the face of the franchise for the next 10 years, but he'll only reach that potential if he's protected. The offensive line needs consistent reinforcements, and putting rookies who are unprepared to protect such a valuable player is almost sabotage. This isn't just a strategy issue. It's common sense. Protecting Williams is protecting the Bears' future.